Hello everyone, and welcome to another video with the Marriage Man. Today we'll be asking the question, is it okay for me to have a life outside of my marriage? See, many times I have sat with couples and who have told me that the spark in their marriage is gone. That attraction that drew them together, it's just not there. Well, then I ask them, tell me about your marriage, describe it for me. And often, this is what I find. One, or maybe both, doesn't have a lot of personal friends or hobbies that are their friends, their hobbies. And what I mean by that is it's a very, very vital to the health and the attraction of your marriage that you have a life outside of your marriage. Don't believe me? Well, think about this. When you first started dating them, go ahead and picture that, right? When you first started dating them, they had a life without you. And that life, they had fun, they made friends, they spent their money and their time how they wanted to. And they did this without consulting you. And yet, you found them attractive. How often did you love to see them talking about some cherished memory that they had about their life? Or how often did you go to their favorite sport or maybe their favorite movie and just be there with them? Yet those very same couples who found each other's strengths and independence so attractive now find themselves married to a partner with whom they share everything. They live in the same house. They go to the same shows and the same restaurants. They watch the same TV shows. They attend the same church or synagogue. They hang out with the same people, and then they wonder, God, why is this other person so boring? Here's the thing, familiarity breeds contempt. If there's nothing new in your life, you have nothing new to talk about. Having a life outside of your marriage allows you to grow as a person. You then take that healthy individual and you bring them back to the marriage and you share them with your spouse. You get to share memories that you made that the other person didn't, and that makes you interesting. You also get to grow as a hobby. So maybe you start as something that you're kind of an amateur at and then you get better at it. You can talk to your partner about the highs and the lows about that, and they don't have to be involved in that hobby because it's not a hobby for them, but you're passionate about it. So you might ask, but what if your spouse doesn't like your hobby? Well, that is tricky. I will admit that, but it's important to learn to communicate with each other about this. What if he doesn't like to dance? Or what if she's just not into video games? What if he doesn't like to drink? Or she doesn't like to go to sports game? Well, at this point, it is beneficial to seek a counselor's assistance to help with that. Because here's the thing. Those aren't hindrances to a relationship. Yes, they cause fights, but they need to be talked through. I say this because when it often comes to recreation, having fun, inside the context of a relationship, it's often the person who's left at home it's how they feel that impacts the relationship. What I mean is that they actually did a study on this and they found that it's not your hobby that affects marital satisfaction. It's how the person who doesn't have that hobby, what they think about your hobby, that affects marital satisfaction. And that is why it is so important to be able to communicate. And if you can do that, if you feel like you and your partner have really good communication skills, then you're good. But if you feel like, hey, this is something that we struggle with, use this as an opportunity for growth. Because again, I want to go back to, this is important. It is very, very important to have a life outside of your partner, outside of your marriage. But it will cause hiccups. It will. And that's not a bad thing. It's just a thing that has to be worked through. And like I said, if you can work through that on your own because you guys have good communication, awesome. If you can't, there's no shame, there's no harm in bringing in a professional who can help facilitate that communication. Well, that about wraps us up for today. Thank you all so much for coming in, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye!